Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm Jer, and today I'm going to tell you guys what I think went right and what went wrong with the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is following up the highly successful Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 that they released, which was by far their best game financially, and it is where they released Warzone, so obviously that's kind of where they get their huge jump in how successful the game was. So with this game coming out, it already had a lot to follow up, and I would almost say there's a lot of pressure in following up a game like that. And especially when you're sharing the name as Modern Warfare 2, which in my opinion was one of the best CODs ever created, and the very first COD that I played over like 30 to 40 days of, you're gonna have a little bit of pressure. So my thought coming into this game, they would try to not oversimplify things, make things a lot easier, and just kind of focus on the nostalgia feel with the maps, the guns, just kind of like the overall feel of the game. I think they would really hit home with something like that. But in my opinion, since playing this game for the last 2 weeks, I haven't really gotten much of a nostalgia feel at all. I know it's more of a reimagined Modern Warfare 2, and it's set to be the sequel of Modern Warfare 2019. You still think if they're gonna promote the game kind of like Modern Warfare 2 and kind of get people in their interest in just by their promotion and stuff the way that they did, you think that they would at least try to help us out and throw in a little bit of stuff that we used to love and that we know that works. And before I get into my list, I'm gonna try to be as positive as I can. I made a list of good and bad. I know the bad's gonna be more, and I'm gonna go more in depth in that because I think that this game has a very high ceiling and it has a lot of potential, and with it being a 2-year release, I think it can be a very great game, and honestly, one of the best Call of Duties that has come out in the last decade. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for clicking on this video, and let's get right into it. The first thing that you notice when you hop into Modern Warfare 2 is how the menu system and the UI is a lot different, and I don't really mind it as much because I know eventually I'll get used to it and I'll understand where everything's at and I'll know how to do all this. But the fact that it took me like more than a couple days to figure out everything, and like the unlock system and where everything is on the menus is kind of whatever, but I mean, I still don't think that's a positive. I think they could simplify it up, which I think they do have plans to kind of fix it up a little bit and make it a lot easier. So I'm not really too worried about that. But when it comes to the unlock system and the create a class stuff, I think they could have definitely done anything else other than the way that they handled this, and it would be a step up. And the way they have it now is basically there's like a weapon tree, and to use certain guns, you have to rank up other guns to a certain level, like level 13, just to unlock another gun. And instead of the normal leveling system where once you hit certain levels you start unlocking guns and attachments and everything like that. Like, I kind of get where they're coming from, and I get it's letting people have opportunities to use other guns that they normally wouldn't use, and I think to unlock every gun in the game you would eventually have to at least use every gun once. So I mean, that's good for playability, but also it's not good for people who don't want to take the time to do that, and they're stuck using the crappy guns because they don't want to go through the time, or they just stop playing overall. So I think they need to dial that down a lot, and really just go back to a more classic feel when it comes to unlocking guns and stuff. But where I think they really missed the bar was when it comes to attachments, and it's pretty much the same thing. You get certain attachments are unlocked on certain guns only, and once you unlock it on those guns, that means you can use it on other guns. So I'll give you an example. So when the game first came out, I wanted to use the red dot that all the pros were using, but I noticed that you couldn't unlock that red dot unless you got the shotgun to level 15. So I wasted my double XP tokens, like the first 2 days of the game being out, on leveling up a stupid shotgun, and it took longer than I wanted it to. It wasn't nearly as fun because that's not my playstyle. I'll never use shotguns, and honestly didn't enjoy it at all. And all it was for a little red dot to put on my gun, which I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I have it on my guns now, but it's really not ideal, and I don't like the idea of that. I miss the days where you only put 1 or 2 attachments on each gun. Each gun had 10 attachments to unlock. You level it up to level 10, you get all attachments, and then you get your 2 options, and it was so simple. But now there's 75 grips on each gun, 15 sights. Like, it's really so unnecessary, and I think they cater to such a small percentage of fans when it comes to the gunsmith situation. And I think it can really, really, really be improved from what it is now, and hopefully they can figure something out to make it a lot easier, even if it's in year 2, but I really don't have high hopes for that. And next, after you finally get your creative class figured out, you get your gun you want, you get everything, you wasted the time to get your gun, get your attachments, get what you want, you load in, and the maps are shit. Most of the maps are crap except for like 2 or 3, and I feel like there's only 5 maps on the dang game anyway. I feel like I'm playing the same maps over and over again. Most of them aren't that good, and when you come across a map that's kind of good and you kind of like it, and then the spawns are bad. And that's a totally another part of my list is the spawns. Because in my opinion, you can give me the best map in the world. It could be the greatest map Call of Duty's ever created, but if the spawns are bad, it instantly makes the map bad. If I'm spawning up and I'm getting in a gunfight within 3 seconds or dying within 3 seconds over and over and over again, that is not good, and it never will be. I get where they're trying to do with the squad spawning, whether you're trying to get you in an engagement as fast as possible, and the more engagements will keep you from, I don't know, keep you from thinking how bad this game or how bad this map is. I don't know where they're trying to go with that, but the spawns are bad. The maps could use a lot of work. I think they're relying too much on the seasonal content or the second year drop of maps. And unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to deal with what maps we have now for like a few months before we get anything that's worth a shit in the game. And my last thing on the list of bad things is about the CDL. I'm a big CDL fan, and I feel like they don't care really that much when it comes to CDL. I just wanted to add in here, I think CDL needs a lot more support. That's where you got a lot of your fans, just from CDL. Like, I think if the developers worked with the CDL at all, it can make everything good and everything like a thriving ecosystem of casual, competitive, and everything can be together.
Because it's a circle. That's kind of nice.
But there are things like taking the weapon pings off the minimap, which I didn't even talk about until now, where if you shoot a gun, your dot doesn't show up on the minimap anymore. The fact that they took that out of the game is probably the single dumbest decision they've ever done in Call of Duty. And you also can't turn that on in private match for the CDL either. So they're really just not listening, and I wish they just kind of listened a little more. But to come down to some of the positive things, the game does feel good, and like I said, it has great potential. I think at least by the end of the first year, hopefully they have everything figured out so we can just get a crap ton of maps the second year and enjoy that full second year life cycle of the game. And they kind of keep the players engaged, and really I just hope there's still a lot of people playing the game by year 2 and everything hasn't just died out, because that'll be a really bad thing for Call of Duty. And it'll just mean the problems that I had in the beginning of this video are just going to get even worse, because they're going to spend less time and less money on doing stuff like that. So really all of it needs to work for Call of Duty to stay successful. I know they're going to keep getting the paycheck, but if they're thinking about long-term success and for Call of Duty not dying, I think they really need to take a step back and look at everything that they're doing and making sure that they're listening to all the feedback that they get. More maps, more content. I know it's going to get better with season releases and battle pass and stuff like that, so that'll be good. I'm excited for that stuff. Camo systems really well, where each gun I think has 4 total camos, and once you unlock those 4 camos, then you get the opportunity to unlock gold for that camo. So there's technically only 5 camos if you're stopping at gold and you're not going past that. But in my opinion, I think that's really good, because once you unlock that 1 camo for that 1 gun, you can use it now on any other gun in the game. So there's a shit ton of camos. It's super easy to get them, and it's super easy to tell which gun unlocks what camo. So if you see a camo on there and you really like it, and you're like, boom, AK-74U, that's how you get that camo. And so you go to that gun, rank it up, get the camo, now you can use it on whatever gun you want. I think that's great. It's a lot easier. It prevents the constant leveling up and grinding for camos, which is still fun, but it was a little too much at sometimes. And I think really that's all the super positive things that I had to say about the game. Like, it's a fun game. I'm still playing it. Even after all the bad things I've said about it, I still enjoy playing it. There's times where I'll have a couple bad games in a row, and I'll just be like, dude, why am I playing this game? And then you spawn into the next game and you have a great time. You're playing it. It's all hit or miss, and I think that all has to do with, like I was saying, the consistency of the maps, the spawns, the guns, and everything needs to just like flow a little better together, so you don't just get this like ball of crap that Vanguard was their last game, which luckily I think this is a lot better, a lot bigger step up than that game. But overall, I wish they would just listen to feedback more and kind of engage with like a lot of the fans, because it feels like they're just listening to people, like just tell them everything that they dislike about the game and what they think needs fixed, and they either just don't listen or don't care because they're counting their money, or it takes too long for them to fix it. And come on, like, COVID's over. They should have the resources to do this thing. They're using Sledgehammer and Treyarch to make a lot of things for their game, because they're so focused on Warzone 2 that other people are doing a lot of stuff for their game and content wise. So I think it's very easy just to kind of improve a little bit here and there in some of the things that I kind of covered. And to me, that's the only way that the casual and the competitive and anybody who plays the game can kind of just like coexist together. And everybody have a good time instead of having, oh, it's just the competitive players not getting what they want, so they're mad, or the casual guy that worked 10 hours and he's drinking a beer, sitting in a corner with a shotgun, like catering to that guy. It's like everybody has good points. I just think they need to care a little bit, because if they continue to not act like they care, then I think the replayability of Call of Duty is just going to go down and down, and then they're just going to be banking on that $70 check, and then the content's just going to get worse and worse. I don't know, these are just my opinions. Who am I? Who cares who I am? Like, if you guys made it this far, I really appreciate it. Make sure you let me know down below what you like about the game, or what you think can be improved, or I don't know, anything really. That's just what I think. I was really excited for this game to come out, and I was gonna make so much content with it, and I was gonna post a lot of videos on my YouTube, and it sucks that this is the very first video that I'm actually making on my YouTube channel, and it's 2 weeks after the game has come out. Like, I've only played PUBG in this game. I've gotten to level 55, and that's about it. Like, normally I'd be playing wagers, I'd be playing private match, I'd be doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I was hoping they'd have rank play, I could be playing that. I haven't really streamed the game much. I'm really just waiting for them to give us more, so I'll have more stuff to do, and like, want them to show that they care about us and that they actually have a plan, because the way that it's going now, I'm gonna be playing the same like 5 maps over and over again, spawning in front of somebody, getting shot in the back. Like, I don't know. I'm done. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good